Hi, welcome back to the Frugal Homestead. Today we are going to make homemade cherry turnovers. Let's get started. Okay, step one, we're going to make the crust. So for the crust, I use 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of self-rising flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 of a cup of lard. I know a lot of people use other things like butter and stuff or Crisco to make their crust, but I like old-fashioned lard. So I put my flours in my bowl already. I've already added my salt, mixed them together thoroughly, and now it's time to add the lard. Normally you would use a pastry cutter to get your lard into your flour. I don't have a pastry cutter. I never have. I've just always used a fork and it works really well for me. So I'll show you how I do that. You just want to take your fork and kind of turn it to the side and start cutting your lard into the flour. This is going to take a few minutes, but see how it's starting to crumble up? That's what we're wanting to get to. We're just going to work all of this all the way in. This is probably the most time-consuming part of it. There we go. So while I'm doing that, let's talk about fillings. I sometimes have fresh cherries picked, and I will make my filling homemade out of my fresh cherries. But this year, all the birds got to all the trees before we got time to pick them. So I didn't have fresh cherries this year. So you can buy the store-bought pie filling and it will work just as well, which is what I'm using today to make your cherry turnovers. A lot of times you will see in our videos that we make a lot of our fillings like that, fruit fillings ourselves. Sometimes nature beats you to it though. I can't remember where we were this year, on vacation or something, whenever cherries came in. Almost there. Tony loves it whenever he has to do the fresh cherries. He sits here and pits them for hours. He don't really love it, but he's the one who does it. He does a great job too. Alrighty, see how that's getting kind of flaky all through it, and it's all worked through the flour. There we go. Now, all you want to do is start adding cold water to your dough, but you add it about a tablespoon at a time because you don't want it to get too sticky. Put 2 to start out with. Now when you do it, you just want to kind of work it into it. Don't really, do it too hard. Definitely gonna need more. Normally takes about 5 or 6. Just keep working it in there. Suppose you could use a spoon to do this, but I go more by the feel of it. go. That's just about going to do it. We'll see though, we may need them 1 or 2 more. I make such a mess whenever I do these, you'll see. Anytime I'm working with pie crust or any sort of crust, I make a mess. Alright, so that is 7 teaspoons or tablespoons of water that I put in. And I think that will definitely do it. Don't worry about all these crumbles. They get mixed in as you start to roll your dough. There we go. So set that there. I'm going to take and just dust my surface with a little bit of flour. It doesn't matter if you use all-purpose or self-rising. Just so that it keeps it from sticking. So I just do it like that. Take a piece of your dough. You don't need to spread it all out at once when you're doing these, because you're going to be working with it and re-rolling it several times during this process. There we go. Get some flour on both sides. I'm going to grab my rolling pin. And we're just going to roll it out. Somewhat round, somewhat thin. Don't want it too thick. A little bit more flour up there. I try and turn it over a couple times while I'm rolling it out to make sure it doesn't stick. That's about how big you need it. And then you're going to love my next tool. So to get the perfect size for our cherry turnovers, I use a coffee lid to cut my dough. So I'm just going to put it on there and cut it out. I have found that this is just the perfect size. Take my excess dough off. It's my cherry pie filling. You do not want to overfill these. So I put approximately 2 good sized tablespoons. If you overfill them, all of your filling will bubble out while they're cooking and it won't seal up really good. Fold it in half, and then all you gotta do is take your 2 fingers and press it down to seal your dough. Okay. This is the pan that I'm going to use. I've lined it with parchment paper. That way they do not stick to the bottom of the pan. There's one. I'll start on another one. Now you can either cook these in your oven or they work very well in a toaster oven, which is what I'm going to use. Either way, I put them on 400 degrees for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Roll out another one. You just want to always make sure you keep turning your dough over so that it doesn't stick to the table or the surface that you're working on. You can always just keep working your leftover dough back in with the rest. That way it keeps your dough evened out. And this will end up making approximately 8 cherry turnovers. There you go. There's another one. Okay, on this one I'm going to show you how to make just a different type of edge on it. If you don't like the fingerprint one, you can also do it with a fork. Get a little bit low on flour. There we go. Just fold it over in half. And then you can actually take your fork and do it just to get the line type edges. This is kind of nice because it seals it really good. And it can give your turnovers just a little bit different of a look. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of these rolled out and get these put into the toaster oven so they can start cooking. And then I'll be back when they're done and I'll show you how we're going to put a glaze over it. Okay, so they're out of the oven. We like to kind of overstuff ours. So as you can see, the filling came out just a little bit. Feel free to use less filling if you'd like. In interest of time, I've already made my glaze for the top. This is 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, just a dash of vanilla, and 1 tablespoon of water. That's all it is. And just mix it up nice and good. I'm going to use my brush here and brush it on. Do it kind of liberally. I like to coat them pretty good there. These did take 20 minutes. And the last maybe 3 minutes I put it on broil, just so you know. Every oven's different though, so you kind of got to know your oven, and I'm sure you'll know exactly when to take them out. So there you have it, our homemade cherry turnovers. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and notification button so you can see all of our upcoming ones. We'll see you in the next one.